Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. Today I'd like to talk about when a Renaissance man is a family man. So we're going to talk about that today. Before we start, please hit like if you would. Helps the channel out a lot. If you have not subscribed, that helps the channel out even more. Please do that. And also use your closed caption feature on your device. Throat cancer has left me with a voice that can be difficult to understand. So that closed caption helps, I think. Okay, so a Renaissance man has and accepts certain responsibilities as a family man. If you're not willing to accept those responsibilities, you shouldn't be a family man, right? You should probably put it off until you have a better understanding of what you're getting yourself into. Okay, so one of the responsibilities is that a Renaissance man, this would be a traditional man, is the head of household. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you're the head of the household. Whether it's successful or not, the buck stops with you. All right. Now, I understand that we hopefully have a partner, a good partner that will help us become successful as a head of household and not fighting against you. So that is something that's really important. We'll talk about that some more. So your head of household, financially, a Renaissance man is ultimately responsible, again, for the success or the failure of the financial state of your household. So again, especially in the modern world, spouses almost always work. Unfortunately, it's something that needs to happen. You need that extra income with the cost of the way things are today. But again, I want the Renaissance man to take the ultimate responsibility for that. So what does that mean? Well, you've got a full-time job, hopefully, or a couple part-time jobs. And then you figure out ways to supplement that. You want to have multiple sources of income. This is so important and really helps so that you don't have to worry so much about if one income drops off and you have nothing. So multiple sources of income is really important. So maybe it's a full-time job and a part-time job. Again, maybe it's a couple part-time jobs. And there's a side hustle in there somewhere where you're getting income through perhaps a hobby that you enjoy doing. Perhaps you draw Social Security, right? That's a source of income for you. So multiple sources of income will help make you much more successful with this responsibility for being financially responsible for your household. Protection, we just had a couple of videos about that, so I won't go into great detail, but you as the Renaissance man, the head of the household, would be expected to provide protection for your family. And whatever form that might take, you should be prepared to do that. Go through that thought process. What would you do if? And again, have the right tools so that you can defend yourself and your family if the need ever arises. Hopefully it never does. You also, I think, are responsible to have a safe, peaceful environment in your home. Again, hopefully you have a spouse that will help make this so. I realize it's not always the case. I've been in situations where it wasn't. But I want you to take responsibility to try to make your home safe and peaceful. You don't want your children to be afraid to come home or be afraid of the next argument that's going to happen. You don't want your spouse to be tense about coming home, not knowing what she'll find, what your attitude might be. So this is important. If you have a healthy family, you really need a safe environment and a peaceful environment. So think about that. Yeah, little or no drama, and any dispute can be handled without an increase in decibels, right? So instead of screaming at each other, find a way to just talk about these things and try to come to solutions, again, without raising your voice. And self-control. Self-control is really important here. Um, Control your anger. We all get mad. Control your anger, especially when you're dealing with a spouse, a partner, or a child. You have to control your anger. And you got to control your bad habits, right? So maybe you like to drink a little too much. Maybe you like to gamble a little too much. Maybe you have a wandering eye, right? These are all things that can be solved with self-discipline. So these are things you shouldn't be doing, and it just takes self-discipline to stop doing those things. So keep that in mind. All those things I mentioned are just awful for a marriage, for a family. So think about that. Controlling yourself, right? Self-control. Children, if you have children, it's your responsibility with how they turn out. I'm sorry. It is. If your child is a bully, it's because of you. Alright? So, smart discipline is important. Smart discipline is important. It always has to be measured, and it should be constant and consistent so that the child will know there's a line I can't cross, right? And that will help that child grow up to be a better person, for sure. So none of this, oh, kids will be kids or boys will be boys. That's an awful way to raise a child. How about this? Respect other people's property instead of boys will be boys. So, again, you're not doing them any favors in my view by letting them get out of hand. And again, as I said, if your child is a bully or a brat and it's disrespectful, if that's your child, it's your fault, not the child's fault. It's your fault. You've allowed this to happen. Stop it. You gotta stop it. You're gonna raise an awful adult, and you don't want that. Right. Again, when provide your children with a safe environment, a peaceful environment, and you should promote education. Doesn't have to be college. I don't care about college much. Has advantages, but it's also very costly. But it doesn't mean that you're against education. So many things to learn, so many ways to learn it. And a child is a blank page, so you want to educate that person, that little person, and promote education. Make sure they know that good grades in school are important, or knowledge of certain things are important, and you just can't go around life being ignorant. You'll never amount to anything. So your child needs to understand how important education is in their lives. So please promote education. Okay, so after all this trouble, what are the rewards? Are there rewards? Absolutely there are rewards. You'll hopefully will have a partner that loves you and supports you. Everything else in your life will be so much easier if you have a partner that loves you and supports you. Alright? Everything else in your life, everything else will be better for it. And of course, you'll be a father to smart, well-behaved children. Reflects on you. So that's certainly a reward. When your children grow up, they're not living at home, they're not on drugs, they're not in prison, they are functioning adults. That's what we're supposed to do, right? That's what we're supposed to create. We want our children to grow up to be functional adults and good people, hopefully. Okay, my mouth is really dry, my voice is really hoarse today, I apologize. But thank you so much for tuning in. As you know, I'm an author. I have some books for sale. And briefly as I can, we have The Eyes of the Wizard King, the first book in the series, second book in the series, Eyes of the Wizard King, A Balance in All Things. These are both available on Amazon. The second book is also available on Audible. If you could purchase those for me and perhaps leave a positive review on Amazon, helps the channel out a lot. So I appreciate it. Listen, thank you so much, and God bless.